Welcome to MD Khalid Mustaq channel of YouTube. Today is the first day of August. I believe today is August 13 or 14 today, I believe, which is Monday. And right now it's actually 3:15 p.m. in the afternoon. Sitting in my Jackson Heights, New York, Queens office, I would like to welcome you guys to our insurance agency. Once again, my name is MD Khalid Mustaq. I'm a New York State Department of Financial Services certified, licensed New York State property casualty and life insurance producer or broker or insurance advisor, whatever the legal terminology they have. At the end of the day, my job is to help my clients like you watching right now, hopefully, to make sure that to give you a review of at least what you have, which means if you come into me and tell me, hi Mr. Mustaq, or hey Khalid, this is what I have, can you review it? Well, based on my experience and everything, if I could, I would at least go through all the pages or whatever terminologies they have. There's a couple of things to look at, just like the doctors that look at the patients depending on the test results, prior test results. Same thing in every industry, I guess. Just like the car mechanic, when you go there, they a lot of time without even going down your vehicle, they could actually say exactly. They could feel exactly what happened. They don't probably tell you, but at the end of the day, a lot of times they smile and they feel like they're exactly doing the job right because this is what they found, this is what he thought. It happens in every industry. So once again, what I'm gonna do today, I'm not gonna make a prolonged video for you guys because I know time is important for me, for you, and everybody else. I'm trying to keep it short as much as I can. So today will be an introductory video. I will try to make sure that the name of our agency, which is basically my name, MD Khalid Mustaq, our address will be 3723 72nd Street, Suite 1, Jackson Heights, New York 10372. I will make sure that it shows on the screen as well for you guys with the phone number 347-536-9484. You could reach me anytime between 8 a.m. in the morning until 8 p.m. in the afternoon, even on Sundays, depending on the situations. So what I'm going to do, the basic focus of my video will be to educate you guys, because a lot of time, even prior myself got into the industry, I didn't know anything about insurance, just like anybody else. So I found out that every insurance, packages that you get in the mail, that you get in the email, big majority of our clients, including myself, don't really read those fine prints, do we? A lot of time, I do notice, and everybody knows that, we do have a lot of conceptions, meaning that some conceptions are right and some conceptions are not actually right. And once again, it depends on case to case. Each policy is different, each client is different, just like doctors, each patient is different. I'm referring doctors all the time just to make you understand, every profession have their own way of, treating their clients and customers or patients at the end of the day. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about what is insurance, and when I will talk, I will try to make sure that I'm gonna be trying my best to use those customer-friendly terminologies, customer-friendly words, sentences, so you understand easily. But a lot of terminologies, you can't really change it. So I will try to say it first, and then probably I will try to break it down, what it translates in easy English or way of talking English, just to get you understand. I know you are all educated people. English is actually your first language and native language, a lot of you folks. English is not my first language, actually. When I came in this country, I was only 18 or 19 years old, so you could tell, absolutely, I had another language that I've been speaking at home, which is Bengali. So I do understand a little bit of Indian Urdu as well. I can't read and write, but I understand a little bit because we're all neighboring country. So what is insurance? A lot of people don't even know what is insurance. They think something happens, you call, and they cover or they don't cover, which is kind of okay to understand. But what's going on? What is insurance? What is insuring you? The term insurance is basically, it's a transfer of risks. Transfer of risks means the house that you live in could burn down, the car that you're driving could get into an accident, God forbid. The business that you have, a client could fall on the floor and get into, $20,000 a medical bill. A lot of things happen. These are all basically risks. Risks are basically chance of loss, like any loss that might occur at any given time, which we don't know. That's why we need to have, even mandatorily for certain cases like auto, you have to have an insurance in your in USA basically, right? You cannot drive a car unless I'm wrong, unless you have that auto insurance in your pocket. You cannot even drive out of the lot even though you buy a $50,000 brand new car today. I don't think the dealer will just let you drive unless they see a coverage page on their face. I mean, in front of them, which is basically the deck page or declaration page, or whatever they send you. To make a long story short, risks are basically chance of loss. That means any given time, without letting us, anything could happen. So those are risks. And be mindful, not all risks are insurable. Once again, not all risks are insurable. It depends what kind of risk you're requesting to get covered or to be insured with the insurance company or carrier, or for our terminology, we say actually insurer. And at the end of the day, whether they will accept it, well, they will go through the underwriting process. Little by little, actually, in every video, I'm gonna bring some basic academic, things, thoughts. Hopefully that will help you. And please write a comment. And also ask me questions, and that way I will know exactly if we're on the same page or what I need to address, or is there anything maybe I will learn from you instead of you learning from this channel. I don't know everything. Nobody knows everything, but I'm just trying to help you out. So not all risks are transferable. Not all risks are insurable. And what happens is when the insurance company, they insure those risks actually happens by certain perils. For example, your home could get into a fire, right? So for the insurance industry, the fire would be a peril here. So just the basic couple of perils I'm going to mention, like pretty much these perils are almost into every insurance in a policy that you have. It could be home, it could be auto, it could be business. But these are the perils basically, majority of the time, pretty much every insurance company, little less or more, they deal with. So common perils would be like fire, lightning, internal explosion, flood, wind, hailstorm, earth movement, etc. And once again, not every perils are covered. And also, so to say, not all risks are insurable. It depends on what you're requesting for, and after the underwriting process, your insurer will go ahead and give you a decision, whether you will approval or will be a rejection, right? And how many types of insurance actually we have in America? Well, we all see the signs, right in front of the store, or the insurance agencies, especially, around your neighborhood. Auto, home, business, life. I don't do health, and some brokers or some agents also do health. So I'm basically, once again, licensed by New York State Department of Financial Services as an insurance professional, so to say, an insurance broker or insurance advisor, whatever you say, just to help you guys out. So basically, like auto, home, business, life, health, these are the basic types of insurances, right? But then again, the arena of each word I just gave you, like auto, home, business, life, health, you know it very well. Just the auto, it's a huge industry. Same goes to home, same goes to business. Just for us to understand, these are the segregations we have to see exactly how we could pinpoint. And another thing that really I think I should be bringing up to you guys, which is basically personal insurance and commercial insurance. I think it's very easy to understand for anybody because the word talks to you. Personal means personal. So if you're talking about personal auto, it's your own car. If it's a personal home, that's your own home. Business cannot be personal because this is automatically commercial, right? Because the business and commercial, you see, they pretty much kind of sound the same, right? Meaning the same. Life insurance, basically, yes, since I'm a licensed life insurance agent as well, I've been dealing with personal life insurances all my life. I never dealt with any commercial, and I don't want to get into detail on that. Unless your company that you work for, they're probably providing you, some kind of life insurance coverages, some kind of health insurance coverages, blah blah. Depending which company you're working with, your best bet would be to call the HR of the company that you work for and find out what benefits they're offering you, what benefits they are not offering you. But me personally, I've been dealing with personal life, meaning that each individual policy I have written with the help of my insurer, and once again, the help of Almighty God, that goes to individual persons. I'm talking about life right now. Then again, it's a common question. I know I just talked about it, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit again. Is everything covered? If I'm not wrong, to the best of my knowledge, the answer should be no, because it's not possible to cover every risks that you might get into, and it's not possible to cover every perils, like every causes of loss, like fire, lighting, internal explosion. We just talked about that, right? And that's why, at the end of the day, every time you as a customer come into an insurance agency or you call one of those 800 number big bucks company, what they do, everything you've been asked to provide the true and right information to them, and they just log into the system, and what happens then, it goes through the next step, and next step. And at the end of the day, everything that you have requested, like, I need this, I need that, once again, the insurance company, they are the one, they will underwrite your case, and finally they will come up with a decision. And let's say you just call XYZ insurance company like a month ago, and you have requested for your homeowners policy insurance because you knew at that time that your homeowners policy with the other ABC company is going to expire, so you actually call just like 7 days prior the policy should getting expired. So the XYZ home insurance company actually ask you a lot of questions, and they put it into the system, and it took them probably a couple of days or even a week or probably 2 weeks depending on the underwriting process. But just to let you know, for the sake of argument, I'm just trying to say, let's say prior even the old policy got expired, just the last day you got approval from the company called ABC, right? So meaning that the insurance policy that you had is going to expire tomorrow at this point, and the insurance policy that you have requested actually gave you an approval. So the current one is going to expire tomorrow, and the new one, it's going to kick in based on how you request it. It depends on the broker, depends on the agent, mostly depends on you as well, and for the best interest to save you from any further damage whatsoever or any claim to make, and also to protect the insurance company as well. So that's the point. It's very important to make sure that which day you are actually choosing to have an active policy. Of course, some clients might have two policies at the same time. Then what happens, they do have some mathematical equation, if I'm not wrong, and that's the way actually they track it out. Try to understand, from my small knowledge, all insurance companies, they're like cousins. They know each other very well. They work collaboratively. That's the only way they could only do better, and at the same time, they could give you the best service as a customer or as an insurer. So what happens now, once again, the second argument, I believe I had mentioned ABC as the correct one, and I believe the XYZ I had mentioned as the new one that you have requested. If it's not, it should be other way around, but just to let you understand, I hope you will go back and find out, or I will go back and find out. So the bottom line I wanted to say, you already have a policy, and you already have requested 7 days prior the policy should expire, and let's say thankfully your policy got approval. So tomorrow the policy will expire, and today you got a new approval, and you're planning to keep the new one, and you know that the old one is going to expire tomorrow. Let's put the situation like that. Or it could be, let's say your policy is expiring tomorrow, and your policy active date, based on everything I just said, was chosen to be the date the old policy will expire. And as you know, every policy starts at 12:01 or 12:05 a.m. at night. Every policy expires at 12:01 or 12:05, in between something, anything after 12, I believe, 12:01 or 12:05. I was told 12:05 a.m. in the morning. Every policy expires, and every policy kicks in. Just like banks, I believe, as an ex-banker, I was told the system gets resetted after 12 a.m. at night. Certainly, I believe it works for every computer system we have in the world now. So at this point, what's going to happen? Once again, let's go back to is every policy covered? I mean, is everything covered in an insurance policy? No. Only the policy, only the risks or perils that you have requested, and if the insurer finally approved it, that's the only way you know that even with certain date and time, let's say the policy starting date until the policy expiration date, provided they do have terms and conditions, you have to make your payment on time, and understand, just like the insurance company, they have certain obligations to follow. You as an insured, you do have certain due diligence as well. One of them very simple. Every time there is a claim comes, you should call the claim, right? You should not wait like long time and then call the claim department, because you gotta let them some time, and they gotta let them work on their own to find out if it's a valid claim or not whatsoever. Plus, at the end of the day, that's the basics of having insurance, right? You want that claim to be covered, or maybe it might not be covered, but you want that to find out, correct? So once again, the common myth that everything is covered under an insurance policy, from my experience, and I hope you understand, it's not possible. Only the certain risks or certain perils that are mentioned inside that policy should be covered, provided all terms and conditions are met. Now, another question I do get a lot, like, how do I know, just like spending 3 to 5 minutes, like what do I have and what do I not have in my policy? I will tell you, once you get a policy by mail or by email, there's a lot of chapters. Some insurance policy coverages, papers could be really miles long, right? So it's kind of hard, and honestly, it's kind of hard to even understand those terminologies, legal terms. I know my honorable lawyer friends, they do understand probably everything, and also insurance professionals like us. But I can't really, or I don't want to say I understand everything, or my colleagues understands everything, even the honorable lawyers understands everything. Because what happens is, every job we do have challenges. But the point I'm telling me, who reads 55 pages of a policy? Just for the sake of argument, I'm talking about. Pretty much the answer is no one, unless certain people, I don't want to call them nerd, but they have a lot of time, they really want to go through each lines, and voila, it's good for them. They're actually getting into know like what I have, what I don't. So any policy, we're talking about personal in this case, or let's say even commercial, I would say, every policy has some basic sections. Just like human body, we have head, we have main body, we have legs, we have arms. Every policy should have certain basic sections. So if you really look into at least 4 or 5 of those sections, and a lot of time they are not really even that big. Like, just the declaration page, if I talk about my homeowners policy, every year when I get that renewed, my deck page is, I believe, like only 1 or 2 pages, and it has the endorsements and everything. But once again, let's not get in there. So let's say you ask me a question, why should I look into a policy at least 1, 2, 3, or 4 pages, and what line should I look for, just to see exactly what I have and what I don't to be covered? Open up the policy. It's better to get a printout. I actually like to keep everything as a printout in a file. I'm an old school guy. I believe in old school because the digital, a lot of thing happens. We'll get into that detail in another video. We'll talk about cyber policy hopefully. But at this point, I'm talking about the old school methodology. That's what I follow, which means print everything out and keep it in a file. Or you're looking into policy in a phone. That's fine. All right. Once you're going through, whether it's a phone, scrolling up and down, or looking to a file, just look for the sign. It's gonna say deck page. It means declaration page. For us to understand, we all say deck page. Your deck page, let's say if you have a homeowner's policy, if you really get into a deck page, you will basically see section 1, section B. Some company might clearly mention that, some company might not, but I believe at least they will talk about part A, part B, part C, part D, part E, and part F. So I'm not going to get into detail of these because I'm going to make another video on a homeowner's policy and their basics as well. So declaration page is something you could definitely look into that. It will tell you how much coverages you have on which part or which section. Then you should look into insurance agreement. Insurance agreement is another, I'm sure those terms like, declaration page, insurance agreement, they'll be bold. So for you to catch your attention. So if you get into insurance agreement, I would just say look for 4 P's at least. 4 P's means policy period, policy address, policy premium, and if I'm not wrong, perils will be there as well. Perils, once again, the causes of loss, which could be fire, lightning, internal explosion. We already talked about that, right? But once again, everything I'm saying from experience and everything, if I'm wrong on anything or if I say something by mistake, please, I do apologize in advance, and I didn't mean to. But my intention here is to help you out. So you've been looking at declaration page of that policy, insurance agreement, exclusions. Easily we understand, right? Like exclusions, it should be something. Exclusions are what? Like excluded, right? Meaning something that is excluded, meaning that, something you're thinking, you're just getting into that page and it says under exclusions, meaning that one way it is not included, another way it is as excluded, or whatever way you think of, correct? If I'm not wrong, exclusions will talk about the exclusions of that policy, like such and such and such and such things are exclusions, meaning that such and such and such things are not covered. If there is a claim to make, if you call, file a claim, anything that you see under exclusions should not be covered. And you already agreed up to that, correct? Because once you requesting a policy, once they're approving you, it's automatically binding to a legal contract, which for us to understand we all call policy, if I'm not wrong, correct? And also I will say look into the page, it's called endorsements. It's a written addendum, basically, a lot of time the endorsements are free of charge. And a lot of time the endorsements could be, you have to pay extra. I will probably make another video on that too. So endorsement is basically a written addendum, which gets printed out, extra pages, and it's gonna say like endorsement. And once it gets attached to the back of the policy, most likely it becomes a part of the policy. And just a common endorsement, you could really look into that policy. Let's say you have a mortgage for your home, right? So your mortgagee, if I'm not wrong, the mortgage company, it's an additional insured policy, because your mortgage company does have an interest to your home as long as you have a pending mortgage with the mortgage company, if I'm not wrong, correct? Same thing with the car that you bought, $34,000. You have a lien with the basically you borrowed money from a company, let's say XYZ company, right? So that's why if I'm not wrong, the car company, they holds the title until they get their full payment of repayment, and I believe they send you by mail the main title. But until and unless, even on the auto insurance policy, as a lien holder, and also on a homeowner's policy as a lien holder, commonly they say, they keep the mortgage company's name or auto lender's name, right? Okay, so these are actually some sort of endorsement. A lot of time they gets added to your policy, and I was told these are free of charge. Or if there anything that needs to be endorsed and be attached to the policy, once you call the company, if it's something free of charge, they will let you know. If it's something you have to pay extra, they will let you know also on that too. Once again, my accent and everything, and I fumble sometimes, please apologize. I'm trying my best to make you understand based on my experience and based on all applicable rules, regulations, federal, local, and state, to the best of my knowledge. If I had made any mistake or false statement, I wouldn't call it false statement. I would say maybe slip of tongue or maybe I fumbled. Please bear with me. And once again, in advance, I'm saying I apologize. I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to, 100% in that case. But until now, everything I say, just to give you a glimpse of what is the insurance policy, or why you call it insurance policy, and what basically it means, and also how many types of insurance we have, and also to see if I'm insured enough or not, which options we need to look into. Today, I'm not going to go into more detail, but I'm just going to talk about a little bit of business insurance. And I'm going to give you a little bit of requirement related knowledge, which means if you have a small business, it could be a mom and pop 99-cent store. No matter what, under these days, pretty much every store like that, right? They have the basic insurances. The basic insurances basically come up with a package called BOP, which is the business owner's policy. It's a prepackaged salad-like thing. Pretty much it has everything, like a little bit of everything, not everything of everything. Like, it depends on the policy terms and conditions, but normally we call it as a BOP. I would say general liability. Once again, what is liability? I will try to make a video on that too. And also, I would recommend store like that, you should have BOP plus general liability, plus I would say get something called cyber liability insurance. It's a huge thing now. I will definitely try to make another video on cyber liability insurance because a lot of us folks we're not really paying enough attention about the cyber liability we might get into, because as long as you have a phone with the internet access, as long as you have a store, you take debit, credit cards, all those terminals and everything has a risk to be exposed to the cyber liability issues, which means threat, like cyber threat, like cyber hacked, all those negative stuff, going around in the internet market, right? So I will try to make definitely another video on that. So that's it for today. And most likely I try to make an edited video, meaning that I just make it in one shot. That's why, you might be saying I'm saying the same thing probably 1 or 2 different times. Please bear with me, and please write comments if you have any questions, or, actually call me at 347-536-9484. And I'm gonna wait until I make another video to help you guys with another topic. See you next time. Thank you. Have a nice day.